live on Facebook, and maybe our musical accompanist might help us.
Can you hear me?
Not much.
Really? I'm playing.
Just pretend you're as loud as me.
Hi, Liz.
Okay, so everyone who's observing, if you could please put yourselves on mute, that would be super duper, because then you'll be able to hear what people have to say. All right, it's 11:01. How many RSVPs do we have, Darlene?
Well, it's hard to tell because they were coming in so many different locations. So I'm estimating about 30, give or take, but you never know.
We'll see afterwards. So this is being recorded. We can share it with friends. And if anyone finds that this is something useful to them, just know our goal in this is to give our wellness family tips for how to enhance virtual meetings using the toolkit from the wellness playbook, so that not just to make it frou-frou and woo-woo, no, it's so that you can think more clearly and make better decisions. And so that you don't find people snoring or in the bathroom while you're on the call, okay? So it's a way to keep control. Why is my head so big? And by the way, guys, how long can this hair color hold up? I don't know. How long does the Botox hold up? I don't know that either. But we're all in this together. So this may be the opportunity for my son to get his wish. Mom, let your hair grow out. This just may be the time. Darlene, you need to put yours on because you're so beautiful. Okay, well, it's 11:02.
Right.
So let's get the presentation up. Here goes our technical director. So this is indeed a recipe book for virtually well meetings. And this was thought up because Swell was going to be involved in a wonderful meeting at the Arizona Biltmore. And the week that everything got serious, the meeting got postponed. And so we thought, how can we do it virtually? How could we use our wellness toolkit to make it come alive? So next slide, please. So we're not just talking about right now. We're not just talking about during COVID-19. But these tips could really help your meetings from here on out be well and be smart and be more effective. So we want to be taken seriously. We want to make sure that the wider business community knows that what we're doing helps people be clear thinking and focused. All right, now let me introduce our cast of characters that I'm so proud to be with here today. There's me. I am a communications and wellness industry veteran. I'm reading my own bio. Isn't that funny? And I am also the co-founder of Swell, founder of the Marshall Plan, worked with iSpa, the Global Wellness Summit and Global Wellness Day. And currently I'm the happy host of the Global Wellness Summit podcast. And now I'll throw it over to Darlene, who is my partner in crime. She's also the technical producer. And she was named American Spa's PR and Marketing Guru of the Year in 2018. And people think she's a pretty big deal in PR. So, Ms. Darlene, can you say what you thought of for the Global Wellness live cast that launches today, please?
Oh, yeah. So if this isn't enough of me and Kim, later today at 3:30 Eastern Time, we are working with the Global Wellness Summit, and along with their collaboration calls that they have been doing with some thought leaders in different spaces of our industry, Kim is going to host a live 10-minute interview with some visionaries every Tuesday and Thursday at 3:30 Eastern Time on Instagram. So follow the Global Wellness Summit. When they go live today at 3:30, click on that and you can watch two people in 10 minutes go through 5 questions that might change your life.
I don't think my hair is going to stay fluffy that long, but we're going to try our best. Okay, next we have the beautiful, the serene, the amazing Katy Hess. She's a flower alchemist. She's the author of Flower Evolution. She's the founder of Lotus Way, and she's one of the world's leading floral apothecary entrepreneurs. She is also a gifted meditation guide. So that's how she's going to help us. And she's even had a TED talk, which is more than I can. Very cool. Okay. Next, we have the gorgeous, the irresistible Lisa Fasulo, a movement expert. She has her master's degree in health education and social work from Columbia, and she's the founder and director of the Center for Transformative Movement in Boulder, Colorado. So get ready to be swayed. And then we have the gorgeous, the talented Peggy Wynn Borgman. Ew. She's an artist, an author, a spa industry educator, and she also is trained in the Grove method of visual graphic facilitation for meetings. So yes, she draws live while we talk. It's kind of cool. And she talks sometimes too. So that's nice. Okay. And last but certainly not least, our hunky musical expert, David Victor. Victor, he's an American rock vocalist and guitarist. He was literally a member of the multi-platinum band Boston, where he had a #1 single, Heaven on Earth. And he has created a gorgeous hospital and music charity that he will tell you about in a few slides. David, take it away.
I need a sound to let me know you're here. All of these lives are being crushed on public atmosphere. I need to know things are gonna be good, 'cause I feel us drowning in a sea we're broken. There is no place safe, no safe place to put my head. You can feel the world shake, feel the world that I said, and I'm calling all angels, and I'm calling all you angels.
Okay, all you angels, we need you all together to pay attention to the next few slides because we're going to rock the world. All right, next, Peggy, would you tell us what are the reasons that people think meetings are a waste of time, just in general?
Sure. Well, most people find meetings absolutely boring and pretty rote. And most companies have kind of a meeting culture and they tend to repeat the same meeting over and over again. The other thing that people don't like is that they feel disrespected when their opinion's asked and then it gets ignored after the meeting. So, that sort of token, oh, give us your input and then ignore it kind of behavior that happens with certain bosses. And then most meetings are not well managed. I'm a trained facilitator, and running meetings is something that I really enjoy. It's a real art form, but most meetings are not managed well. Most meetings tolerate some pretty unproductive behavior as well. And I just think that it's amazing that half of people really feel that most of the meetings they have to attend are useless.
All right. So there now in our next slide, we'll see a new verb that has been happening. No, it's a noun, meet napping. So you force them to attend, even if they don't need to be there and they're bored out of their wits. Darlene, what did you hear the other day?
So I've been hearing so many people are on Zoom these days, as we talked about earlier, but and a lot of my friends have to just show up at 8:30 in the morning for their, daily check-in to make sure that they're there physically working. And so one of my friends got on his call and said, "Hi, I'm here." And then he just put his, picture up and went and laid down on his couch, intending to be part of the meeting, but fell asleep because it was so boring. And people are just having meetings to have FaceTime and nothing's really getting done. So the productivity in some of these meetings is like zero. So meat napping.
Meat napping it is. So what is our point here? What are we trying to do?
Make it more fun.
So what are the objectives? We're not just woo-woo people, you know that. We're trying with this sensually stimulating all, enlivening all the senses. We're trying to effectively communicate critical information, important ideas, or why else have the meeting? And then we have to learn to trust each other. Like I trust Darlene is always going to notice when I want to change the slide. I trust David's talent, Peggy's talent, everybody we put together. But in a room of people from different departments or a Zoom call with people from different countries or different places, how do you keep them all together? And then we really want actionable plans to result. And then also we want to inspire each other. The other day we went through a rehearsal with this and I'd been so stressed out from everything. My husband works in a hospital, so many things happening that I forgot to practice any of this. So in the dress rehearsal, we went through it and Katy Hess looked and said, look how much better Kim looks. Because we have to practice this. So we hope that you're inspired by this. Okay, here's our recipe book. These are the ingredients. This webinar will be made available, but first it's leadership and planning, then musical performance. You must know someone who strums guitar, plays piano, plays the xylophone. Live scribing, we'll tell you how not to be intimidated by that. Mindfulness, which is so important. Movement, which we all can do, even in our chair. And for God's sake, tech that works. Okay, here's the rules of the road. We encourage you to make a sheet like this for every meeting you have. Make a bulleted list and tell everybody. You got to show up early. You got to be prepared. You got to make sure your tech works. There's a way to raise your hand. You know that in the options for participants, if you go to the key that says participant down near the bottom, there's actually a way that you can raise hand. So click on participants if you want to try it. And you see in the bottom of that box, you can raise your hand. And if all else fails, just raise your hand. So that's one thing to know. You should really not cram a login. That's hard to see when you have more than one person on a screen. And if you have to get up from your screen and go grab the dog or let someone in or do whatever, just shut your video off for a minute. And then, dear God, how many of you are doing emails right now or sending texts? Let's not do that. And we appreciate it. Okay, we already silenced our devices. Next. Okay, this is something to think about. We talk long and hard about not being a talking head. Get somebody behind your head. Some people have such terrible lighting, they look like they're in a hostage video. And, Peggy put on here no flapping hands and no swiveling or jiggling, but she doesn't think of me when she writes those sort of things. So thank you, Peggy. And also, the acoustics matter. I'm sitting in a corner of an upstairs bedroom with natural light coming in. I have a lamp right beside me. I've ordered a selfie light on Amazon, it isn't here yet. And they're cheap. They're between $10 and $30 now. And then all your calls. Darlene, could you please turn yours off and on, please? Notice beautiful Darlene. There's without. Now here's with. Yay. And could you also show David, well, when David comes on again, you'll see he has a green screen behind him. And he put a beautiful scene of a beach. See, David, oh, and waves. It makes me feel better just seeing it. So that's an option too. So just remember, you're in control of how you look. You can work on it and it's pretty cheap and make it look better. All right, technical director, that would be my husband and my son for me while we're in the house. They monitor these issues, they help me, they hang pictures, they do whatever, and do a tech rehearsal. We got on this call 10 minutes ahead of time. We rehearsed 3 days ago, but we want to make sure everybody's here and fully functional. Okay, Peggy, why is this meeting a production?
Well, it kind of goes back to what I was talking about at the beginning, which is most people kind of do the same meeting over and over again. So I really encourage folks to think of their meeting as a unique production each time. And this isn't going to happen for all your meetings. There are going to be some simple transactional meetings you're going to need to do. But when you have to get work done with a group and you have something significant to accomplish, think of it as a production. Give it a title like a movie. And think about it. You're really marketing your meetings to whoever is going to be showing up. So how would you put on your marketing hat and apply those same ideas to getting people interested in not just showing up, but really participating. So to that end, I suggest actually storyboarding important virtual meetings. So instead of just doing an agenda, draw a few little pictures of what you'd like to have happen in that meeting. It helps you think about it in a much more visual way.
Okay, and next we're going to say about the agenda. It is nice to outline an agenda. I've been on a lot of these calls. I haven't seen many agendas. So I would say that the most important tip here is to keep it simple. We don't want people to think, oh, they didn't get to my item. They don't care about me. My opinion doesn't matter. And also build in time for the unexpected. We have done the global wellness summits or institutes positively well calls twice a week, listening to people from around the world. And let me tell you, it is emotional. We walk away and our hearts are moved, and we need to hug each other virtually. So build in time for a little hugging in your meetings, okay? And then the meeting is really not about big shots, the loudest voice in the room. I can't believe I'm saying this slide. Ugh. But anyway, this is an exchange of ideas. I'm going to have to get up right now and shut my window because somebody's mowing the lawn. See? So now I'm going to stop my video, get up and shut my window, and Peggy will take the next slide. Why are moderators good?
Oh, this is perfect. So moderators are important to running meetings well because they create safety, basically, for participants. And in most companies, there's pecking orders, there's concerns about the boss's opinion. And often when people are reluctant to participate in a meeting, it defaults to the boss and it turns into, once again, a monologue, or it's going to be too dominated by, the most powerful people. So the moderator acts as a control tower for the virtual meeting. They are objective, they're respectful, and this is part of the rules of the road that you agree to at the beginning, which is we are going to respect and listen to the moderator and enable them to run our meeting for us. It takes a lot of pressure off people. They watch the time in the agenda. They can push things ahead if things start bogging down. And then they also play the role of really actively listening, confirming the action items. Bob said he's going to do this. Okay. Who's going to own this? When's it going to happen? The moderator helps check in and just make sure that there is an actual outcome from the meeting and that people walk away going, okay, I understand what's supposed to happen next. I get what happened in that meeting and I know where we're going from here.
And I want to just put out there to the crowd, has my hair ever looked better than in Peggy's drawing? I just love it. I can't, if only. I can't find those glasses because I'm discombobulated, but that's okay. All right. And next slide, more moderator modes. We put this in here for our dear friend, Doug Chambers, because he talked about being in so many meetings with hotels, et cetera, where you walk away and there's unresolved issues. Nobody goes back to recap what's been said, and people don't feel heard. So rephrasing questions like, let me just put it this way then, is this what you mean? And then segueing to the next topic. I love that Peggy put down here, parking lot issues. If there's big things that come up that you don't have time for that day, assure people that you're going to park it. Here it is. It's going to be there. We're going to come back to it. We promise. Your thoughts are important. We don't want to forget it. Okay? So we have a lot to do, we moderators, especially if we have glare in our pictures. Oh, it's terrible. But anyway, I hope you like it. It's from Hawaii. Gorgeous. It's an original. Okay. Next, pacing tips. We got to go a little faster. We want to keep this call to 40 minutes to an hour, but we really want to entertain you too. And it's so easy in Zoom to just have dark squares with people like, and then they just put their picture up and you don't know what's going on. So let's keep it lively. Don't just read slides. You can send people a PowerPoint and they can read it themselves. And then there's a rule there, 10, 20, 30, 10 slides, 20 minutes. And you know what font size is. So keep your fonts at like 30 points at least, because you don't want to cram slides. People can read a document, you can email it afterwards. Okay? And now we come to one of my favorite parts. We have to be mindful. We have to begin these meetings with a meditation or a mindfulness, or if people are scared about meditation, just call it a breathing exercise. And now I joyfully hand the mic over to the beautiful Katy Hess.
Wonderful. Okay, so we've been really externally focused. Now this is going to be 5 minutes where you can totally turn inward your focus to yourself. If you want to close your eyes, I'll be watching for the 5-minute mark. So you don't have to. If you want to close your eyes, that may help you turn inward. And the first thing you're going to do is scan your body for any areas of tension. And notice how sometimes when you find an area that has tension, just simply by noticing it, it already starts to release and invite more ease. And then see if there is any part of your body that would like your attention for any reason. Just intuitively, is there an area of your body that would like your awareness and attention? Just placing your attention there for a moment. If there's any tension in the back of your neck, tipping your chin closer to your chest, opening up the back of your neck, giving yourself permission to relax. Noticing any sounds around you in your environment. Notice how sound travels through space. Noticing the temperature of the air on your skin. And notice how you're breathing. We're going to do 3 breaths. You're going to take them at your own pace, and you're going to inhale very naturally. And on the exhale, you're going to blow out the air through your mouth, slowly through your pursed lips until all of the air in your belly is expelled. This will expel excess thoughts or nervous system energy. So we're going to do that 3 times at your own pace. Whenever you reach the 3 breaths at your own pace, just noticing how your natural breathing state feels, and see if you can be aware of every breath in and every breath out. If your mind tries to take you somewhere else or becomes impatient, just gently bring your attention back to how your breathing feels and how amazing it feels to breathe. And if you'd like, with every exhale, you can allow your body to relax even more. Your body can be relaxed at the same time that it is clear and awake. And then just finally taking a moment to put your awareness into the space where your heart resides, and give yourself a moment to give yourself credit for all that you do and all that you are. And we'll dedicate the effort that it took you to come to this meeting and to sit in mindfulness for 5 minutes. We'll dedicate our collective effort so that all of us may experience wild happiness and peace. Then may that ripple out to everyone we're connected to, whether that's physically, virtually, or through space. And when you're ready, if your eyes have been closed, you can open your eyes. If you need to wiggle, you can wiggle. If you need to stretch, you can stretch. And notice how differently you feel after only 5 minutes.
We love you, Katy. And now, as we wake up again, I wanted to let you know that one thing we would encourage, if at all possible, is thinking if you can encourage your participants to get aromatherapy oil, light a candle, or mail for order online aromatherapy and spray. See how she's doing that? So we can waken the senses. I sure wish I had a bottle right here. So you can certainly get those at Lotus Way, but all of us as spa people must have something in our homes too. But I think it would really add another sensory level. So thank you so much for that, Katy. Thank God she did that. Okay, next up, we have our lively and wonderful live scriber. And this is what we love so much when we do our strategic visioning sessions. We lasso Peggy from wherever she is, and we glue her to big poster boards on the wall, and she draws what we're saying. And it is so crazy that this affects a part of the brain that builds cohesion because you realize you've been heard. Like I said that idea and she just drew it up there. And I'm a part of this because she drew my face. And so this is a woman who actually does live paintings at weddings of the couple. Isn't that crazy? But not everybody has to be that talented in order to live scribe. Peggy, can you take it away, please?
Yeah, I was trained almost 20 years ago in graphic facilitation by the gentleman that kind of invented visual meetings. And the whole idea of graphic facilitation is actually not to be artistic. It's about to capture ideas really quickly with super simple shapes and symbols and use those to punctuate what's being said. But it's also about capturing what's being said in the moment, because when people see their words actually captured and written down, when you write down what someone's saying, they feel heard in a completely different way because now everyone can visualize it. And it also creates this written record of what went on in the session. So I really encourage people to play with this. It's not something that's super hard to do. There's actually all kinds of super easy little symbols for dealing with complex topics, complex ideas. And you can see it's just kind of scribbly, but it makes a huge difference in people's willingness to participate. And Kim and Darlene and I have seen that, you know, it'll draw shy people out. It will also moderate or dominant people in a group too. But what you end up with is a visual record of what went on. And then you can work with that content. You can reshape it. It doesn't necessarily take the place of, say, someone who's just transcribing, but it can be a fantastic way to codify decisions and also enable people to really feel like they were part of something. And it's to use one of Katy's words, it's kind of alchemical. In fact, we've used flower essence sprays in some of those meetings too. A wonderful tool for helping people tap into a different level of consciousness.
So would you say, Peggy, should people feel intimidated? Should they just put where do they get supplies and what should they use?
Well, I have an extremely sophisticated Mr. Sketch set that I buy at Target over and over again because I run through them. But the actual figures that you're drawing, and these are just Post-it sheets, super easy. You know, anybody can make those kinds of shapes. You might need a little bit of practice to feel good about it, but it's all children level art supplies basically that you would need for that.
And we know many of you are conducting school for your children at home, so might as well just save the paper, turn it over, and scribe your meetings. Okay.
Steal their Mr. Sketches.
Sometimes you buy smelly markers, and those are really fun because we get a little high in the meeting. It's good. It's good. Okay. Next is one of course, our favorite points, and that is enriching your virtual meetings with live music. There are so many reasons to do this. Look at just the main ones up here. Study after study shows that music improves brain performance, makes you a better communicator. And look at this, you guys. It strengthens the immune system. This is our #1 battle against this virus. So play that music. We saw the global wellness trend about people escaping into sound with podcasts, don't forget a podcast, and with music. So this is a healing tool. Now look what else you're doing. You're helping performing artists. Do you know anybody who plays at a club or who strums at a jazz cafe? See if maybe you can get them hooked up and to play music. David, would you tell us how you're hooked up sound-wise, keep it simple, and then please tell us about your charity.
Great, yes, thank you. So I am hooked up through Zoom meeting, just like you all are. I've got a little interface called a Mackie Big Knob interface, and I'd show it to you, but I want to move my webcam. But basically, it's just a simple digital interface. And when you go to Zoom, I discovered something just yesterday, actually. There's a little advanced things for the audio, and you use computer audio so you don't let Zoom process your audio. And then you get a beautiful, beautifully rendered sound. Hopefully, you're hearing that guitar. And as far as harmony and healing, so what that is my live music program for hospitals and healthcare facilities.
Once again, breathe in slowly.
How you doing?
And slowly, extremely well.
So am I. So for the past couple of years, my mom's listened to a lot of the teachings, and
I'll go ahead and talk.
it's really resonated with me. And I'm only 19, and all I can think of is, what if all of my friends knew what I knew? What if everybody knew if I knew?
You have to
You know,
mute your
and,
you have to mute your computer.
I think for
Lisa.
me, the biggest thing that I struggle with is self-confidence and self-worth.
Can you mute Lisa,
now,
please?
Doesn't mean that I'm not worth anything. I know that everything that I do certainly carries value. However, I think that I don't necessarily believe. And I think that through, move this away. I think that through the explanation of the grid, I really began to understand that.
There we go. All right. I didn't know if that was just me. I heard you guys. So yeah, so Harmony Healing, we bring live music to the bedsides and community spaces of patients and their loved ones in hospitals and healthcare facilities. And we take their minds off their health challenges with live musical performances. So music, like you were saying, lowers stress levels, brings about positive associations, speeds healing, and mostly restores hope and happiness to patients' lives and the lives of their loved ones.
So, I have a brother in a nursing home right now, and he hasn't had outside visitors in 3 weeks. Can you imagine what even playing, sending them some sort of visual for meeting for on Zoom or FaceTime, sharing some sort of music together, how that might encourage them?
It's super important. People, like in the sense of smell, Peggy was talking about, music has that same ability to tap into those memories and positive associations. So it's super, it brings this, you can play songs that contribute perhaps to the gist of your meeting even. There's a lot of songs that have been written, and many of them have, analogous through lines to your meeting agenda.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to give you, share a little secret with all of you guys. The reason we're so famous, that we got a famous musician to join us, is that David is Peggy's brother.
What?
Isn't that cool? That's so cool. All right. So the next slide further expands on how to use music in your meetings. And that is find out what the performer you are working with, what his top playlist is, and then send that out to your participants and have them pick songs in advance for your intro and outro of the meeting. And then remember, it just melts away those barriers and people feel connected. I keep saying when, I hear 70s music, there I am, but I couldn't help but sing along to David. So we really believe in music. Okay, And our next slide is the exciting Lisa Fasulo, who's going to lead us in a 5-minute movement exercise from our chairs or standing up. Lisa, as soon as we click on you, please take it away. Did we lose her? Uh-oh, we might have lost her.
Yeah, I don't see her in the participants. Maybe she did.
Okay, so we'll come back when she comes on. We promise we'll try to find her, and we'll keep on going until we get our movement from her, okay? I think she hit the wrong button. All right, so what's our next slide? I'm texting her right now. So this is another thing about virtual meetings. You really have to remember to be ready for the unexpected. It's not the end of the world. You know, we're so grateful that you took your time. And we really think that every time you have a virtual meeting and any meeting, you should share what worked for me, what I wish would have been different. And also the other thing that's so important in a virtual meeting, you know, we like to go around and maybe we could ask each of you, if you find a way to chat right now, you see down in the chat room, if you could please just text to us. You can do it to everyone. You can do it directly to me. Do you see the chat down there at the bottom of your screen? If everybody could take a second to write one thing they learned from this or they appreciated from this, one thing they'd like to see more of, because we really and truly do want to learn from you. We want to share best practices. So please do take a moment to send in your chat what you're thinking, okay?
Kim, I think Lisa is back. Lisa, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So let's go back to movement now, and let's give the maestro wand to Lisa, and please lead us in some movement.
Okay, great. So my name's Lisa Fasulo. I'm director at the Center for Transformative Movement in Boulder, Colorado. And I'm going to share 5 movements with you that you can do at your desk that are based in research, that are effective, and most of all, they feel good when you do them. So as a yoga and as well as movement researcher, I know the benefits of coming, taking our energy and coming inward, as Katy helped us do. And she also mentioned at the end, wild mindfulness. And so we don't necessarily have a lot of time to do the expression part of the in and out polarity. So the first one, if you take your hands, and we're going to just be letting them go side to side and up and down for 10 seconds. And then at the end, we'll just bring our hands together and see how they feel. So just get a sense of what your hands feel like or don't feel like right now. And then let's go, shake them vigorously. 10, 9, up and down, side to side. 7, 6, little inner smile. 5, 4, give it your all. 3, 2, and now just placing your hands together once again. And noting if there's any change. A lot of people feel warmth, or just, let's take whatever it is and just breathe it into your eyes, mouth, and the rest of your body. So we don't have a lot of time here, but that can be used to if you're feeling nervous or anxious or just kind of rushing around, that can calm you. And if you need energy, it can give you energy. So we have stretching. Next one is take an item, a pair of glasses, a pen, any item that's around, and we're going to be creating dynamic tension. That's the feel-good part of sports and dance. So we're going to push with one area, your arms and your hands, and pull back with your body. So it's creating a little yank or pull, and just breathe, and let's do it 10 times, different, moving your body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Once again, it just energizes, gets everything flowing. It's easy to do. Next one, if you have a chair that you're able to turn around, if you don't have a chair you're able to turn around, just hold on to the bottom of where you are sitting. And if you do, you turn the chair around. Yep. So that you're sitting and holding. And we're going to just arch our back and come forward and then around and back slowly, breathing. If you do yoga, this is similar to the cat-cow pose where you're flexing and extending. You can let your arms hang and just really stretch. Do a lot of things. You can rotate, like it just really moves your body. You can take your knee and pull it up and back, stretch it. Okay, so we have stretching, we have the item, we have the chair, we have head. Now, something that's really easy is just to get your head moving. We're gonna do something that makes it a little more natural. But think of Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles, just feeling that sensorial connection with life. So let's take, if you have your phone, most of us do, we're gonna just pretend you're looking at your phone on your right-hand side, look at it on your left. Let's just go back and forth, and you can just let your head bob a little left, right, or whichever side. 1, 2, 1, and move it out a little further. Move it out, and you don't even have to look at it. It's just moving your head. Let's do the same thing with answering. So answer, 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 answer. I'm going to put on some music, and we can put it all together and either stay in your chair or feel free to get up, which, where's the music? Where's that coming on? Let us, okay, here we go. Let's do the head right now, where we look at one side, one side, one side. Okay. Fast pace or slow. I'm gonna get up. Put them all together, stretch. Ready, set, let's go. Dance for pro. I know, you know, I can psycho when my new joint hit. Just can't sit. Gotta get jiggy with it. That's it. Now, honey, honey, come ride. DKNY, all up in my eyes. You gotta, dance with a lot of stuff in it. There you go. So that is just something easy you can do at any time. It's not nice schedule, my breaks actually, and our kids do it every 2 hours. They have to get off their technology and do some movement with us. So thank you for your attention.
Listen, guys, I want to tell you, Lisa inspired me so much the other day because I was really in a tight ball. I take stretch 2 times a week. It's like a yoga Pilates floor thing. And it really keeps everything aligned and me stretched out. 20 years I've been doing it. I have not been doing it since the shutdown. So I was like a little clam all in a ball. So I went downstairs after our rehearsal and my son put on this really cool music and I just danced all over. He has the video to prove it. I danced in the living room, I danced in the dining room, I danced on our porch with the broom. And you know what? Who saw me? Nobody, the dogs, and they love me anyway. So just do it, guys. I'm so encouraging you. And who cares? We all have roots and everything else going on. And who's wearing pants right now? Who's wearing cute shoes?
One sec, Kim, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We are having the Center for Transformative Movement is our organization. We're having a free live online dance this Friday, I guess tomorrow morning, 10, oh, and Peggy's writing it, thank you so much, 10 to 11:30, where we'll have people from all over the world. If you go to the Center for Transformative Movement or on Facebook, the Zoom link will be there. So just a lot of fun, free, and thanks.
So
Kim.
on Facebook, do you spell out Center for Transformative Movement? Is that how you find it?
Yes.
Okay, that's how you find it.
Stacey.
Okay, cool. And guys, really take this to heart with your kids, with your meetings. Just move. Get your that cat-cow thing in your chair. That changed my life. All right. So can you please, Darlene, go to the next slide? All right, we're almost done now, guys. But one of the most important things here is the wrap up. We want people to feel like this was worthwhile and that things are actually getting done. So I would go around the room. We did this on a rehearsal. What's our action items, deliverables, and due dates? I ask everybody who's on this call, what are you going to do? How are you going to be prepared? And it worked. And so we're so grateful to them. Okay, so don't forget accountability and commitment. And you know what? Gratitude is the attitude here. We've heard Mia Kiriko say it so many times on her post from Hyatt. And we all just need to remember to be grateful. For Swell, we are so supremely grateful to Live Love Spa. We went to them and said, would you help us? Would you host this? Would you put it on your app? And they got it immediately, no hesitation. They believed. And because of them, this is happening. So we hope that we can help your other groups as well. But thank you, Live Love Spa. We really love you. And then when you're done with the calls, you know, like after this, I have to write thank you notes to all these people whose faces you've been seeing. And I'm very bad at that. So I'm going to make myself do it because I love them. And now, remember, end on a high note with music. David, take it away.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. It's all right.
Woo-hoo! Thank you, everybody. We love being with you. We're sending virtual hugs. Please send us your comments. We're only